Hello. Won't play that yet. I'll wait till you guys come in. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in. Not yesterday, last class, this whole thing kicked us out of this space together. Um, I had my own ideas of what happened. But it got real, it got deep, it got heavy, and I think that's so great. Hopefully you guys got the email of finishing up the homework I gave you guys to do to complete it. Good evening. Hello, hello. um but yeah, that was crazy. I found myself tapping into this space, and I started like kind of seeing some things and started going into the dialogue and the conversation. I opened my eyes and it was like, wait, we were disconnected. So hopefully this won't happen today. I actually moved myself into a different space, hoping to that will not happen again. But we'll see if it had anything to do with actual Wi-Fi connection, or it could have been something else. But either way, I'll wait for more of you guys to, welcome yourselves into this space. But if you have not been in this space before, I will introduce myself. My name is Jasmine Wilde. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a mother of two. Um, in my business, I work with mothers in ultrasound technology, so dealing with babies. I love spaces dealing with women in general because I think that we are so powerful, and I go back and forth with the word strong, but we are so strong. And I love to create the space for us to breathe, for us to feel seen and understood. And this space specifically pertaining to the chakras and meditation and journaling and deep introspective thought is so important to me because we didn't learn how to do this. Many of us came into this existence and we were taught things like math, science, social studies, but never taught how to necessarily communicate our feelings. And I believe our parents did the best with what they had. They also too shared these learned behaviors. So here we have an opportunity to relearn the behaviors that we learned, and to do something new and different for not only our children but our nieces and nephews and other people that we interact with. And the better we have an understanding, the better understanding we have of ourselves allows us to communicate better with other people. So there we go. In the previous classes, we have gone over the chakra series. So today we are at the throat chakra. I love, nothing, the heart is my thing. I told you guys that, but the throat chakra is probably second. This right here, the throat chakra. All right, so go ahead and diving into it. This is about communication. I'm getting tongue tied because I'm like, there's so much to say. Communication. This area is about sound, about expression, about sharing. We all have lived different lives and have different experiences, but this is a beautiful way, a wonderful way to express truly the things that we have to say. When this chakra is open, I wrote some notes. So when this chakra is open, you feel comfortable being yourself and expressing your story to the world. When this chakra is open, you speak your truth, but also along with speaking your truth, you're also in the process of seeking your truth. So it's a two-way thing. In this space, you are honest and you allow yourself to stand up for yourself. That's a whole nother topic that I'm just excited to jump into. And also when this chakra is open, there's a sense of authenticity and an ability to share your ideas. So again, we're back to communication, to communication, to communication. Also, what's very important, what I like to share with each chakra is the color. The color of this chakra is blue. So we'll be playing with this color in our meditation. And when I want you to think of the color blue, I want you to think about a clear flow. I want you to think about the movement of water. So when this chakra is underactive, let's get into this part. This is always good. When it's underactive, you can be a bit introverted. What does that mean? Do we know what introverts are? Do we know what introverts feel like? Some of us are natural introverts, where it's kind of like, I'd rather, just more so chill by myself. I don't think we're talking about that specifically, because sometimes that's just a personality. You may not prefer to be the person in the center of the room, like, what's up? You may like to just chill at the house and play some records with some friends. It's not that. Introverted in the sense of making your voice small. You want to say something, but you're like, no one's going to listen. No one can hear me. No one will understand my words. That type of negative self-talk. When this chakra is underactive, you can experience a lot of insecurity. That goes back to no one will hear my voice. No one really cares about what it is that I have to say. Allowing yourself to shrink in situations of, I know I can stand up and say this thing and it be correct, and I answer the question or sing the song, but I'm going to sit down. I'm going to let other people go ahead of me. I'm not going to take this opportunity. Those types of things. When this chakra is overactive, that's when we get into the gossiping, and we're no longer having conversations about what we're learning about life. Now we're sitting down having discussions about other people's personal lives that we don't really know much about. We always only have a perspective, but we have no idea what Diane and Jake are going through. We don't. When this chakra is overactive, we get into being overly critical. And not just overly critical about other people, but even ourselves. That's where we get into the negative self-talk. Oh, you could have done better. You should have known that. You should have already accomplished that. Why didn't you know that? You're so dumb. You're so dumb. I was so stupid. I have to catch myself recently. I did something. I was like, oh, I'm so stupid. Well, I don't use those type of words. I take that back. Overly critical of other people. Maybe you have some friends. Hello. My throat chakra needs some help. Let's talk about it. I'm over here talking now about what it's like when it's overactive or underactive. So if you are a person and you're like, of course you're a person. If you're a person who's working on and you feel like you need to work on your throat chakra, make sure you're very aware of, if you feel like it is blocked, be conscious of, is it overactive or is it underactive? Because it's like a faucet. If you can tell that it is overactive, then you can slow it down. If you can tell that it is underactive, you can speed it up. If you've been in previous sessions, classes with me, I explained that the term chakra means wheel. So we can imagine our chakra and our throat chakra like a wheel like this. If it's rotating and it's going a good speed and everything's going, we're good. We're talking, we're expressive, we're communicating. Then when it slows down, it's like, oh no, I don't feel like I can talk. Or if it speeds up, you're talking too much. So be aware of what section you're in. Going back to the overactive, being arrogant or rude, that can also come with an overactive throat chakra. Sometimes we get a little bit too comfortable and we start expressing things in a way that may not necessarily be kind to others. There's a way that you can correct people. There's a way that you can address people, even if it's something that you don't like, in a kind way. You don't have to be rude. You get more bees with honey. Condescending. That's pretty self-explanatory. And what's interesting about these specific items is that a lot of times we can see when it's, or feel when it's happening to us. We're not always in tune when we are doing it to other people. So this may be a bit of a challenge to realize when you are doing this to other people. And last but not least, not being able to listen, because this is going and you feel like you need to say what you're going to say and say what you're going to say and say what you're going to say, that you're not listening. And this is super important in relationships, whether we're talking about marriages or partnerships or secret lovers or business relationships or friendships, whatever the ship is, whatever the title of this ship is. When we are in positions to where we are constantly talking and we are not listening, we're going to run into issues. Because just as your partner may be trying to express something that they feel, when we are both constantly talking, guess what? No one is listening. And if no one is listening, no change is going to happen. You're going to constantly be bumping into the same issues, the same problems. If you run into this, This may be a part of the issue. Learning how to slow down and put your throat on pause and allowing your ears to open. Listening to someone's perspective does not take away your perspective. Taking the time to sit and pause to hear someone else out does not take away from you, especially if you're in a romantic relationship. I was talking to a friend earlier about this. When someone is communicating, hey, something you said hurt my feelings. Um, and if I love you, I'm not coming at you to destroy you. I'm coming at you out of love to say, hey, can we talk through this? And that takes and as far as communication, it takes a back and forth of both talking and listening and feeling comfortable enough to speak your truth. So those are a couple, that's the when it's open and when it's blocked. Going into a practice as far as dealing with the throat chakra is that many of this chakra has been blocked for many people, and it's pertaining to women especially. For me, I was born in the South. So one thing that I definitely heard growing up, which still makes me sick to my stomach, is that a woman should be seen and not heard. Again, I was taught a woman should be seen and not heard. So when you grow up hearing things like that, of you're just supposed to be beautiful, but you're supposed to be quiet, and especially when you're a child and you feel like these adults have an authority over you and you want to make sure that you are being good and obedient, then you're learning to be quiet. But in these situations, we lose our voices. So that's what we're going to tap into in our meditation as well, is tapping into figuring out where are the roots of this thing that blocks our throat chakra and saying that we don't have a voice. Or why do we feel like we need to push over and make our voice heard so loudly? Who told us that we were not being listened to? So we need to figure out where that is so we can figure out, where's that middle ground of a healthy, active throat chakra. So today I don't necessarily have a breathing exercise. I just more so have a vocal exercise. What I want you to do, if you are in a space to where you can speak aloud or yell, I want you to take a moment to repeat these three words, and I'll give them to you one at a time. So the first word that I want you to repeat, and I want you guys to write this down, and I want you to practice this on your own time, because these words are so powerful and they're a part of our normal language. So we don't always really tap into their potential. Because words are powerful. Words have meaning and power behind them. So we really need to take advantage of these tools. So the first word that I want you to say aloud is no. No. And I want you to say it like if it's a situation, because there are situations, and I want you to think of one specifically where you wanted to say no, but you did not say it. And you either passively aggressively said yes, or you said no very quietly, like, I don't want to do this. Or maybe you ignored the text message or you ignored the email to get out of it, but you never said no. So I want you to repeat no, no. And I want you to do different tones, not just the no, but no, no, N-O, no. So I want you to practice that at least like 5 more times, because 5's a great number. No. No, no, no. Right. And then this last one, I literally want you to yell, no. And you don't have to do that now if you can't, but I want you to take this with you. So if you go to a beach or you go to the mountains or you find yourself on a balcony where you feel free enough to just like let it go. And if you feel free in this moment, please yell it out. No, like, say no. That's the first one. The next one I want you to say is yes. Yes. Maybe there's an opportunity that you felt was way too big and you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this, but you want to say yes because it's your passion. And maybe you gave like a, yeah, sure. I want you to say yes. Like, yes. Like somebody, maybe you want to be engaged. Maybe you want somebody to pop the question. Yes. Maybe you got the contract you've been eyeing. Yes, yes. So I want you to say yes in these different expressions, because that is a powerful way to will opportunities to you, to just say yes and understand that you can say yes to those things that you want, to say yes to that date, to say yes to these clothes being given to you, and also saying yes to when someone wants to bless you. I was at the grocery store the other day, and something was telling me to buy the woman's food behind me. And initially she looked at me and she was like, "Oh no, baby girl, you good." I said, I just felt I was pulled to want to bless you with this." And she stopped and she was like, "Yes." She was like, "You know what? This is a sign from God. I have been asking for a blessing, and I was going to sit here right now and say no because I didn't want to put something on you." And I said, "You're right, because you didn't put anything on me. Like, I want to do this for you." So sometimes we ask for things and God provides, and we're like, "Oh, no, 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 don't do too much. I can handle it." You better learn how to say yes. And you're doing all this work on your chakras, and you're doing whatever other energetic work or journaling work, and even just doing this in these classes, things are going to start coming to you as you're aligning yourself and putting yourself in a position to to live the life that you desire. You're going to have to be more comfortable saying yes and confidently. Okay, so do you want to do this $2 billion deal? Yes. How would you like this in your account? Yes, transfer over those, that 500,000. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So if you're in a moment and you want to yell yes, yes, yell yes. And the last and word I want you guys to repeat is wow. Wow. Yes, WOW. Wow. Because there are moments that happen to us, and when we're in it, it almost feels unreal, of like, okay, I'm in this and I've asked for it, and now I need to be present in it because it's like really happening. Give yourself the moment to experience wow, because wow happens, but we shorten the experience because a lot of times we have this thing called foreboding joy, where we're experiencing something so good, but a part of our brain is like, okay, I can't sit in it too long because it may be taken away, or oh no, this tastes too good, or this may be too good to be true, or things have been going so well, I'm just waiting for the bottom to fall out. Let's not do that. So when we are in moments, I want you to say wow, like wow, 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 wow. So I want you to repeat that a couple of times. And like I said, you take these words and go to a balcony, go to the ocean, go to the river, go to the wherever you need to go. And I need you to yell these words out with some conviction, because they're powerful. And I want you to open up your throat chakra to be able to express yourself in the ways that you need to, with families, with friends, with your creative ideas, understanding that your voice is important. Your feelings are important. The things you see, your experiences are so important. I want you to think about your own, as we're going to get, comfortable into our meditative state. I want you to think about that. You have a unique story. Everyone is completely different. Everyone was brought up by different parents, guardians, cousins, brothers, sisters. Everyone has a unique story, and yours is unique, and it needs to be heard. Does that necessarily mean through a book? Possibly. Could it be a course? Possibly. Could it be sharing your story just with other people in passing? Possibly. But understand the power of your story and the power of your voice and the necessity of it. Yeah, I just want to sit with that for a second, because that's where I want to go within our meditation. You know the drill. So go ahead and find a comfortable seated position. Find a comfortable position laying down. As we always talk about, you being comfortable is the most important part of meditation, because you can't drift off into that space if your back hurts. You can't drift off into that space if you're not in a comfortable place. Again, it's totally normal if you fall asleep. I get that all the time, and that's not a bad thing. That's actually a really, really, really good thing. That means you have allowed yourself to become comfortable enough to slip into this subconscious place and understand that even though you're asleep, you can still hear my voice, and that I will be repeating affirmations, and you already know psychologically that I am saying good things, that I am feeding you good thoughts and ideas, and sharing with you things to help prepare certain memories and ideas. So there's no defense there. So go ahead and get comfortable. I am going to get the music started. And when I start the music, if it is too loud and you can't hear me or something like that, or you can't hear both, just type it in the chat. All right. Okay. So go ahead. Find a comfortable position to lay down in, find a comfortable position to sit in, and just enjoy this time as you're in your own space. That you get to sit down and think about what holds your voice back. And you get a chance to think about what makes you feel like you need to use your voice so much. That can be a defense mechanism. It could be, how sometimes the person in the room that's the loudest sometimes can be the most insecure. And if that is you, that's not a bad thing. It's not like, oh, you're a bad person. You just need to figure out why to find that balance. So go ahead and get comfortable, and we will start our meditation. If you're just coming in, hello. We are entering the meditation portion. So go ahead and lay down on your yoga mat or lay down on your bed or in a comfortable position. Sit down. Go ahead and close your eyes for me. And as you close your eyes, I want you to take a deep inhale through your nose and release through your mouth. Inhale through your nose and release through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. On your next inhale, I want you to breathe in a deep breath. And I want you to imagine that this breath that you're breathing in is a light crystal blue. And I want it to feel like it's cool, like peppermint as it's coming through your body. I want you to inhale this blue. And as you inhale it, I want you to imagine it going down your arms and through your fingers, down your shoulders and your chest, down your stomach, through your legs, all the way down through your feet. I want you to feel a coolness. And as you exhale, I want you to imagine that there is this mist coming from your mouth as well, almost like on a very cold day. And you breathe your breath and you see this mist coming out. I want you to continue that process. And I want you to feel the cleansing that's happening. As you breathe in this beautiful blue, crisp air, and you release through your mouth, I want you to think about the ideas that you're holding on to. I want you to think about a specific time this week in which you felt that you had to hold back or that you had to defend yourself. As you are breathing in and you are breathing out, I want you to think of that place. As you're breathing in, I want you to see the scene and the setting. Where were you? And who were you talking to? And what was the conversation? Continue to breathe in the blue, crisp air and exhaling the mist. I want you to think about why you felt like you could not express what it was that you wanted to express. Was it that you thought the person would not be able to understand you? Was it that the person made you feel intimidated? Was it that the person already expressed that they had no desire to hear what it was that you had to say? It's very important that you are able to pinpoint why you decided to hold back the expression that you were feeling. Continue to breathe. Inhale and exhale. Breathing in a beautiful light blue mist, crisp, clean air, and releasing the coolness through your mouth. Pushing out all of the residue of the uncomfortable feelings that you felt in these moments when you had to stop yourself. When we stop a natural process that our body feels, it does create discomfort. And that is what I want you to blow out of your mouth. And I want you to see the air leaving your mouth, the discomfort leaving your mouth. Continue to breathe in the cool, crisp air and releasing through your mouth. Returning back to the situation. Maybe you were in a place where you felt that you had to enforce your voice. Maybe you yelled. Maybe you screamed. Maybe you went clean off on someone and it felt good in the moment. But after the endorphin dump and the high and the adrenaline that you felt in that moment, maybe you didn't feel so good about allowing yourself to release that way. In that situation, what provoked you to use your voice in that way? Was it that you felt they were not going to listen to you? Were you feeling as though they were not listening to you and you needed to use your voice in such an aggressive manner? Diving into those situations where you found yourself stuck in this conversation of gossip, and maybe you even felt in your body that it wasn't good to have this discussion about this person without them being there to defend themselves. Dive into that place and figure out, why did I engage in that conversation? Why was I not able to pull myself out? Why did I feel okay with adding to that conversation and deal with those parts of yourself? A part of this work of healing is being able to accept your light and your shadow. These parts of you are not bad. Growing up, we learned this scale of a green check means good and a red X means bad. But every portion of life cannot be determined by a green check or a red X. Sometimes you may not show up as your highest and your best self. And when you find yourself in that space, you course correct. But don't stay in that space and then beat yourself up later. So on your next inhale and your exhale, I want you to return back to your normal breathing. As you're breathing, I want you to see yourself surrounded by a beautiful white, almost crystallized light around your entire body. And this is a safe space to be. Imagine that you are soaking in a tub of just beautiful, vibrant light, full of love and affirmations. A place where you are understood, a place where you are felt, a place where you are easily translatable, that the words that you're saying make sense, and that what you're feeling is you're able to be understood. What does that space feel like when you don't have to yell to get your point across? Because that reality does exist. What does it look like when you are able to say yes, no, wow, comfortably, with all of your might and power? Because no is a sentence and yes is a sentence. In this space, I want you to imagine that your body is made out of puzzle pieces, every part. And I want you to see your body as this puzzle piece and seeing the different parts that are missing. We all have different parts that are missing. And I want you to see, as you are bathing in this bath of celestial light, that these holes are being filled with so much love. And as you see this happening, I want you to take in a big, deep breath, and then I want you to hold that breath within your lungs. Don't release it yet. And if you already released, just go ahead and start over. Take a deep breath and hold it. And as you're holding your breath, see these spaces being filled with this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful celestial light. And now release through your teeth. And as you release through your teeth, I want you to continue to push out the air. Push out until you feel like it's an emptying sack, that your belly button is almost pressed to your spine, that you're like, that you're contracting your abs to get out every bit and piece of air and dirt and debris that could possibly be in that space, because we are clearing out this space to invite new energy in. Because it's important that you know that your voice is powerful. As women, we are born with the gift of creation. As a human being, we're born with the gift of creation, but specifically as a woman, you are born with the gift of creation. And a lot of times we believe that the creation is just with our womb when we create children. But there is a power that we have with our voice, the power that is in the tongue, that we have the ability to lift each other up with beautiful compliments, affirmations, and praise. That we can praise our partners and our friends to help them skyrocket to next levels. But when we are not in control of our own power, it can turn into something very dark. And we can begin to tear down people with our words. Growing up, we heard sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. And that's a lie, because words do hurt. And I want you to take a moment to sit into those words that hurt you, that made you shut off your voice. Who said that? That thing that you're thinking that made you stop talking? Who said that your voice was not worthy enough to be heard? And a lot of times, the words that hurt us the most are not random people. They're people that we hold dear. So, who was the person close to you and what happened? When did you feel? I want you to see whatever those words were, no matter if you were 4 or 5, 17, 23, 47. Somebody, some people, something, someone said something that was a seed, something that hurt your feelings. And that seed was planted and it started to grow roots and flowers and weeds. Weeds are also flowers. So you have to find the source because, as we know, you may chop off the head of that flower and you may chop off the head of that weed. But if you do not pull that sucker by the root, it will just continue to regrow. You may not be able to chop down the whole bush today, but you can at least pinpoint where it started. And you can work on that thing by sending it love and light and energy. I want you to think about that person. I want you to think about that space. And just as we did last week, I want you to repeat, if you are here with me, I forgive you. I forgive you. Whoever that person was, whatever they said. Because a lot of times when people feed us negativity, what have we heard? Hurt people hurt people. So you have to release and let go of the hurt that they are trapping you by because they are trapped by their own hurt. Detach yourself from their story so you can begin to fly and to continue to create your own story because you are worthy and deserving of that. Continue into your normal breathing. I want you to take your dominant hand and place it on your throat. And take your secondary hand and put it on your heart. And just breathe life into this space. Imagine your dominant hand going back to blue, the flow. And I want you to imagine your secondary hand is something green and lush, like a beautiful field, beautiful soil, and beautiful dark leafy greens growing in a garden. That's what you see in your heart, over your heart space. And the blue space over your throat, I want you to imagine a beautifully flowing river. That your words and your thoughts are important. That when you are feeling excited and happy, that you deserve to share and express that happiness. And if you are feeling dark and cloudy and in despair, you get to express that sadness and that darkness. That if you feel confused, you deserve to express, and you are worthy enough of expressing that confusion. If we don't open our throat chakra to express what it is that we need, we will continue to stay in a space of despair, of lack, of without. It's like walking into a room of people that can help you, and you don't say that you need help. In this moment, I want you to imagine your superwoman cape on your back. And you're standing tall and proud, and it's blowing through the air, and you're so strong. But as life happens and you get hit by one rock, and then you get hit by another boulder, and then you get hit by a truck, and all these things are happening, and you're strong. But now your cape has holes and burns and tatters in it. You need to take it off for a second for it to be repaired. So I want you to imagine yourself slowly taking off this superwoman cape, taking it off button by button. taking it off little by little. And I want you to throw it in this beautiful basket that's next to you that has a title on the front that says God, universal source, omnipotent source connected to all things and everything. And I want you to throw that superhuman, that superwoman cape into that basket. And I want you to give these burdens to the source that handles it all. And I want you to dip back into that pool of that celestial space I was telling you about, being surrounded by this beautiful crystallized white. We can make it a bathtub at this point. And I want you to soak and to relax. And imagine that God is asking you, what do you need? What do you want? And in this moment, in your own words, if you are able, I want you to name the things that you want and that you desire. I desire love. I desire patience. I desire a worthy partner. From I desire great friendships. I desire financial stability. I desire pure, genuine friendships and connections and business connections. I desire health. I desire to feel good. I desire happiness. I desire to sleep well. I desire to release myself from stress. I desire to speak up more. Whatever those things are, I just want you to list the things that you want as the universal ears are open and as you are in this safe space to express what it is that you want and desire. I want you to inhale deeply and exhale. And it's very important that exhale is important. I tell y'all all the time, I want you to hear your voice. Inhale and exhale. And then I want you to look into that basket that was titled God on the front, and I want you to pick up your Superwoman cape. I want you to see that it is blue, and you can decorate it however you desire. Are there flowers and roses on it? Is it decorated with the name of your children and people that you love? You design that cape. I don't want to put that together for you. But the cape doesn't have any more holes. It's not burnt anymore. It's actually restored with a thicker fabric. And I want you to imagine that you are slowly putting it back on yourself as you are rejuvenating yourself. And as you are exiting this beautiful, safe space and coming back into the natural realm of reality, I want you to imagine that you have a handful of beautiful black pebbles. And I want you to drop them all around you in a circle. And this is your circle of protection that is always with you. And with this circle of protection, you are keeping away things and people that make you feel that your voice is not worthy until you are strong enough to say no. That you are grounded, stable, and safe. I want you to take a moment to look at and see what you look like with this blue superwoman cape that you have on now. With your voice chakra open, I just want you to see the space of your throat just lit up, just beautiful blue, powerful and crisp and sharp and open and active. That you are able to communicate and express, able to listen, What does that look like? What do you look like in this space? When you are more grounded, stable, and confident, how do you now address those people that give you anxiety about speaking up for yourself? That you are never alone, that you have angels that walk with you and spirit guides that walk with you. And you're a good person and you deserve to have good people around you. And using your voice will attract those people to you, and using your voice will keep away the people that don't deserve to be around you. Your superwoman cape, I want you to be able to see it when you close your eyes because it is always a part of you. Now take a deep inhale and exhale. And I want you to take a snapshot of what you look like. I want you to take a snapshot of the beautiful black pebbles circled around you as far as your protection. Take another deep inhale and exhale. As we are closing up this space and soaking up all the goodness and getting rid of anything that we need to take out as waste and trash. Imagine all that we let go through the deep breaths. Imagine that it was put in a really big black trash bag and we're just going to throw it in a dumpster and we're going to close it because we're clearing out space. We've cleared out space. And now you're allowing yourself to have great interactions with good people. Now we're clearing out those dead weeds and pulling things up by the roots. And now we can plant beautiful sunflowers and daffodils and tulips and all the beautiful flowers that you desire. This is your garden. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Sit into this space and allow yourself to feel the buzzing throughout your body. And sit in this space for a couple of breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Bring attention to the space in the center of your forehead. Bring attention to your fingers and wiggle them around as you introduce yourself back to your physical space. Raise your eyebrows up and down. And wiggle your toes. Slowly begin to open your eyes if you desire to. You don't even have to open your eyes. If you're seated, you can begin to just open your eyes and look around a little bit. Move very slowly and allow yourself to become present. You can look at your hands and come back to your space and take your time. If you do have your journal with you, and again, you can replay this later. If you just want to sit there for a second and just listen, do so. If you're up and ready to write down some journaling notes, then do so. But again, just go with whatever feels natural to you. This space is about being comfortable. Pertaining to your throat chakra, I want you to talk about what you felt during that meditation. When I talked about a specific person, place, or a thing that made you shut down, whether it was dialogue within your current relationship or a previous relationship, I want you to journal about what makes you shut down. The only way to create these changes is to be able to specifically identify it. You have to give it a color, a name, a language, so you can know when it pops up. You have to understand your trigger. What triggers you to become small. Figure out what those things are. Is it a specific setting? Is it a specific setting? Is it a specific group of people? Because sometimes it could be the people around us. Sometimes we don't see how big we are in certain settings or how small we make ourselves in certain settings pertaining to the people that we're around. But understand, if you are doing this clearing work and you're working on this, changes will happen and you will no longer be in that space if that's what you so choose. But if you're a person that struggles with using your voice, your area is very important. The people who you have closest to you. You have to be able to recognize if you are always listening, are you in relationships where it's equally yoked, where you all are sharing and exchanging ideas, or are you always listening? Are you always providing the help? Um, you have to have even balance in these relationships. I would say for me, that is personally one thing that took my life to the next level when I discovered friends who allowed me to use my voice. I have friends now that I can talk to for hours on the phone as I am combing through something. And I'm also very much an advocate for therapists. I actually have a therapy session tomorrow that I am so excited about. You have to have places where you can release what's happening up here. We're not meant to process this life experience on our own. And the only way that we can have the communication is if we can actually express ourselves. You're not crazy. Your stories are not absurd. You are worthy of being listened to and seen and heard, as I said in our meditation. So I want you to write about that. And when I gave you the scene of sitting in the bathtub and the things that you are asking for, write those down so you will remember and see those things. We just passed a full moon. I haven't talked about full moon rituals with you guys, but I want you to write down the things that you said in that space of like, God, I want friendship. I want love. Write down those things. It's going to be very, very powerful. We have one more class of one more chakra, and then the last class will be like a graduation for you guys of saying that you've studied, that you've been introduced to each chakra. And I will leave you guys with more information about like moon rituals or setting up an altar space or a personal space. We'll dive into, being able to get yourself into alignment. Um, and that's about it. I want you to journal about what it is you desire, and I want you to journal about what triggers you to make your voice small. In addition to what makes you make your voice so big that you feel that you need to overpower people or push them down. Like when people can make you yell and scream, it's a big power to allow people to have over you. So it's something I feel that needs to be worked out too, because having an underactive and or an overactive throat chakra can make some some big changes in your life once you learn how to balance it. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope that it made sense. I hope that you guys learned something from it. As usual, if you have any questions, you can find me on IG at Hello Miss Wilde, HelloMissWilde. And if you have any questions, you just let me know. We have a couple more minutes here on the live chat. If there's anything you want to ask, I'm more than happy to answer. Or if you are asleep or still floating in a beautiful subconscious space, enjoy that space. Usually after meditations, as I've heard, you guys go into a really good deep sleep, and that's just for majority of people anyway. So that's really good. If you're in a good relaxed state, our bodies deserve it. There's a lot going on between, world issues and COVID, and our bodies need the relaxation. So y'all don't have anything for me, I will let you all go. A couple more minutes, let me know. The Wi-Fi, the connection stayed today. That makes me happy. Are, are the chakra energy that flow through each body part? Great question. So right now we're focusing on 7 chakras. We started at the root, and there's spaces each part, right? So each part of the chakra is attached to a body part. It's attached to even a specific system. They're attached to specific parts of the brain. It's a really, really, really beautiful matrix that let me show you something. Let me see. Oh, I don't have it with me, but there's an introduction to chakras book that I'll bring on next time. But yes, the chakra energies flow through all parts of your body. They're connected to all of it's connected to something. Really good question. As usual, as far as the music, my guy, Peter B. Helland, I mentioned this, but what are some affirmations that I can say with an underactive? Oh, absolutely. Um, Let me think. As far as the throat, let me say the throat chakra. Oh yeah, absolutely. I will bring. Actually, I will probably find the book tonight and send it to Annie so she can send it to you. Yes, of course. Okay. Affirmations with the throat chakra underactive. Okay. Let me think specifically. An affirmation you can say is, I am worthy. I am worthy. Because a lot of times when we feel we can't speak up for ourselves, it's like, oh, no one's listening. No one's going to hear me. I'm worthy. I am able to communicate. I am expressive. Um, I allow the flow of life to flow through me naturally. Um, I am expressive. Those are some really good ones. But more than anything, I would say what's screaming out to me is I am worthy. Um, and actually, too, tying into the root chakra, I am grounded, stable, and safe. Because when you feel that you are grounded, when you feel that you are stable, you don't feel like someone can knock you over and knock you off your balance. So when you are grounded, stable, and safe, you feel like you have the confidence, not feel. you do have the confidence to stand up and say what it is that you need to say. So I would tie in, I am worthy, I am grounded, stable, and safe for sure. Yep. And these are affirmations that I don't know whether you were here when we did the mirror work as far as dealing with the sacral chakra, but these are great affirmations to repeat to yourself in the mirror, especially after a shower when you are, rubbing on your lotions and oils. And affirmations, I do repeat. I will take a shower and I have a specific oil that I like to use. And I mean, I get detailed. I mean, I'm rubbing in my cuticles. I'm grounded, stable, and safe. I'm worthy. I am loved, and I mean, just get in every crease and crevice and just look at yourself in the mirror and love on yourself. To some people, it sounds super weird, but let me tell you something. It changed my life. You are so welcome. Well, we are here. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Again, just reach out to me if you need anything, and I will see you all next week. All right.